It is Deadpool and Wolverine Eve, which means it's time for some last second predictions and what I have to expect from this movie and where I think it's going to rank among the MCU and other movies from 2024 so far. We are finally here. Deadpool and Wolverine is finally right around the corner. And I just want to talk about what I think are some cameos that we could possibly expect from this movie that have not been revealed yet. First, I want to talk about some actual major MCU characters that I think have a very good chance of being in this film. And first up, obviously, there's a very good chance we'll see Tom Hiddleston as Loki in this film. Last time we saw his character, he got to have his major transformation to the God of Stories after he kind of took over the TVA, essentially. And we know the TVA has a very big part in this story, so I think that is a very good chance of happening. And another character I think we have a very good chance of seeing is Doctor Strange. Whether it's our main Doctor Strange or some variant of Doctor Strange, it's going to most likely still be Benedict Cumberbatch if he's in it. We've seen the portals that Doctor Strange and like other mystic magic users in that universe use and they make. So I think there's a good chance that we'll see him as well. And I think there's also a good chance we'll see some Spider-Man in this movie, whether it's Tom Holland or Andrew or Toby. I think there's a good chance that we'll see one of them. And in case you didn't see, Andrew Garfield was at the world premiere on Monday. That doesn't automatically mean he's in the movie, but I think if any of the Spider-Man were to be in this movie, Andrew would be a good fit. One, we know he's pretty decent friends with Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he did kiss him at a award show once, so they're at least somewhat close. And I can see there being a very funny interaction where Deadpool gives Andrew's Spider-Man crap for him actually getting a third movie, because there's obviously people wanting to see a TASM 3, and that hasn't happened yet, and this is Deadpool 3, so I think that would fit really well. I think that'd be a really funny moment. And this other cameo I think we can expect is kind of within the MCU, but also kind of not. So ever since Multiverse of Madness, people have been clamoring for the moment to see Chris Evans reprise his role as the Human Torch, but having everyone think that he's entering as Captain America, and then he says flame on, and there's an epic moment like that. And I think there's a very good chance that'll happen in this film. Not only is Chris Evans iconic as both the Human Torch and Captain America, but he did have a cameo role in Ryan Reynolds' film Free Guy. So he has to have at least some kind of relationship with Ryan, or I think there'd be a good chance that we'll at least see him in the film, whether he's Cap or whether he's the Human Torch, or whether he's neither. And speaking of Free Guy, another actor who kind of had a cameo in that movie was Channing Tatum. And in the past, Channing Tatum has had a history with Marvel that didn't really end well in the moment, because he was scheduled to play Gambit many times over the years, and it never ended up working out. What better opportunity would it be than to have him play Gambit finally in this movie in some capacity? I know I'd love to see it. And sticking with the theme of X-Men, I think that out of the other X-Men that we could possibly see in this movie, I think we should definitely be able to see some kind of Magneto in this. If I were to venture a guess, it would probably end up being Michael Fassbender, just because Ian McKellen is maybe a little too old to reprise his role right now. But I'd love to see it. I'd love to see another Magneto in live action for this film. Also, I don't know who's going to play it, but I just would love to see Nightcrawler in this movie somehow. Just pick somebody who has notoriety that we would notice, or just put him in the movie somehow, please. I would really love to see another live action Nightcrawler. All right, I just have two more cameo ideas. One more is still kind of X-Men related. I think that it would be really cool to see Henry Cavill in this film somehow. And I think if he were to be in this film, going right from DC into a Marvel movie to kind of spite how DC handled Superman, would be to have him either be, the patch version of Wolverine wearing the white suit and the eye patch, or to have him be Cyclops wearing the X-Men 97 comic accurate suit. I think he would be great in either role, but I think I would personally like to see how he would do as Cyclops, because I think he could actually be a very good actor to play Cyclops moving forward in the MCU. And one more cameo I want to talk about potentially is, obviously everyone wants to see a Hulk in this movie. It would be really cool to see Wolverine face off with a Hulk. If I were to pick which one I think would make the better fight, I think I would want to see the Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton version basically. But I think it would also be really funny to throw in the 2003 Hulk and then have his CGI be bad, because obviously that movie was made in 2003, the CGI wasn't the best. And then Deadpool could just poke fun at the fact that the CGI is bad because the movie came out over 20 years ago. But anyway, that's all the cameos that I think I would like to expect from this film. On to how I think it might rank among the MCU and among other movies from this year. So out of those two categories, I think that Deadpool and Wolverine has a better chance of cracking into my top 5 of the year than of the MCU, just because the MCU is so big and my top 5 is pretty solid. My top 5 MCU movies right now are Infinity War, Endgame, Guardians 3, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Captain America Civil War. And just outside of that 5 is also movies like Ragnarok, Winter Soldier, The First Avengers, First Iron Man, Black Panther, movies like that. But I think that Deadpool and Wolverine has a chance to crack into that top 10, but it has to really blow me away to make me want to put it above No Way Home or Civil War or even Guardians 3. It would have to really blow me away. But for movies from this year, I think it has a very good chance of reaching my top 5. Right now in my top 5, I got Dune Part 2, Monkey Man, Society of the Snow, which is kind of a 2023 film that was released this year on Netflix. And then I got Inside Out 2 and Hitman. And just outside of that top 5 are movies like Fall Guy, Love Lies Bleeding, Long Legs, If, movies like that. And I think Deadpool Wolverine has a very good chance to even become my third favorite film of the year. It doesn't necessarily have to blow me away to be in my top 5, but I think there's a very good chance it's going to be one of my top 5 favorite movies of the year. But anyway, that's my last second thoughts for Deadpool and Wolverine. We are just one day away from it hitting theaters. I am so excited. Let me know what you think about my cameo ideas. Let me hear your cameo ideas. What are some of your favorite movies of the year? Some of your favorite Marvel movies of all time? Let's all be respectful. No spoilers in the comments. And let's all just try to enjoy this epic movie, the biggest movie event of the year.